Hi everyone, welcome to Wonderful Plant Wednesday, like in the jungle today. I'm Sarah Papoulis, Habitat Project Coordinator for the Partnership for the Delaware Estuary, and here on Wonderful Plant Wednesday, if you're new, we talk about native plants that you can plant in your yard, in your gardens, in your wild spaces to help clean water, healthy habitats, and strong communities throughout the Delaware Estuary. So native plants help with all those things. If you have any questions while we're talking about today's plant, feel free to put them in the comments and I will answer them during the video. And if you're seeing this not live, which you will see it several places, on Facebook, Instagram, wherever you see it later, you feel free to put your questions still in the comments and I'll answer them when I see them online. So feel free to chat, do anything if you have questions about this plant. Okay, so let's get to today's plant. It's a pretty one. This is Phlox paniculata. I'm going to bring it in like this so we can see how pretty it is. So just start by, this is a first year plant. I just planted this, so it will get much bigger than this, at least space wise. So if you see, it only has like 3 stems right now, 3 or 4 stems. It'll definitely get more clumpy as it gets older, so I'll put a picture in the comments of it more full size. But I think a lot of people are familiar with phlox. It's very popular in gardens and things like that. There are about 67 species of phlox. Most are native to North America, not all of them to our region. This is Phlox paniculata. Phlox means fire, flame, and that is reminiscent of the beautiful color and the vibrant color that phlox has. All the species, phlox in general as a genus has very diverse life histories or shapes. There's creeping, which like stay on the ground. There's woodland species, so they like a lot of shade, and then there's phloxes like this one, which likes a lot of sun. So it's very varied, but all of them have brightly colored flowers. So that's where they get that flame phlox name from, and I love phlox. It's easy for everyone to say, so that's why I kind of like it. It's honestly the common name too. It's called, this one is tall phlox or autumn phlox, fall phlox, garden phlox. Has a lot of different common names, but it's a beautiful pink color. Paniculata refers to the panicles, which is a botanical term for how the flowers are on these things called panicles. It is technically, there's a guide, Delaware Flora. It is technically not listed as native for Delaware, but it is listed as native in surrounding counties in Pennsylvania and New Jersey, which, you know, we cover the whole area, and close enough for me. Whether it's close enough for you or where you live, you know, that's up to you. There is one very similar, Phlox maculata, which is native to Delaware, but I think it is a little more difficult to find for sale. So Phlox paniculata is a little similar, and I think easier to get. It is much easier to get. It comes in a large variety of cultivars and colors. This pink magenta is the color you're most likely to see in the wild. Its cultivars, are based on natural variations that are seen. So in the wild, it even will have more variation than a lot of other flowers, but still those cultivars are bred to keep that color and are likely will not, if you grow from them from seeds, they will be this pink again. So I like this pink. It's a great pink. It's beautiful. So I'm gonna keep this pink. I don't see any reason to get any other colors. And we don't know, it's hard to know what those other colors mean for the ecological value of it. There's a lot of science that's going on about that, but why not? Why not just plant the straight pink one? It's beautiful. Speaking of the different ecological values, this is really great for our pollinators. Bees love it. More of the tiny skipper butterflies love it. Big butterflies will visit it as well. There's different moths that are thought to be the actual pollinator of it. It does have a few critters that eat the leaves, but not to a noticeable amount. Like, you probably won't even notice that something is eating the leaves. So that's what, I like best. You're eating it, but it still looks good. So having that value for those critters with our aesthetic feelings towards it. And then, however, this one is a favorite of our mammal friends. Deer, bunnies, groundhogs will all eat it. So if you have those in abundance, it may be hard to get established. So keep that in mind. We were kind of finishing up anyway about phlox. I think I was mentioning moths love it. Lots of different pollinators love it. Oh, the deer and the bunnies eat it. It blooms late summer. There are a lot of wild flowers that look like this one. This one is probably hard to ID if you see it in the wild. If this is earlier in the spring, you're most likely seeing what's called Dame's Rocket, which is an invasive species. This one blooms late July, August, September. There's also Sweet Williams tend to kind of look similar to this one. So just be wary if you see it in the wild. There are a lot of things that kind of look like this, and which is a problem when people don't know, and then they won't pull it because they think it's the native one, so it's tricky. Just to finish up, put a little ending to our phlox here about growing it. It does like sun, cool soils, moist-ish soils, so make sure you try to mulch it in the summer and take care of it. Watch out for it for the first few years because they can be hard to get established, so watch out for it. Make sure it's doing okay. And they're not drought tolerant, so you definitely want those moist-ish soils. But once it can get established, it does pretty well. It does get powdery mildew. There are some cultivars that are resistant to that, if that's interests you. Although I find mostly if you have enough plants around, you don't hardly notice it. If it's like a specimen in the middle of the garden, that's all you see, yeah, you might notice. But in a border or a meadow with a bunch of other plants around it, you're not going to notice. So that's kind of my plan for my phlox. And I talk a little bit about that on our Monarda fistulosa Wonderful Plant Wednesday episode as well. So you could check a little more about that on there. But anyway, it's just a beautiful pink flower. Lucky that these are native to our area. Great for all those pollinators and supporting different wildlife. And thanks for watching. Wherever you're watching this, if you have comments, feel free to put them in the or if you have questions, put them in the comments and I'll answer them wherever you see this, whether it's on Facebook Live or Instagram TV. Feel free, and I'll be around. I'll also try to somewhere post a photo of more of a mature phlox plant. So thanks for watching. Tune in next week where I'll pick a plant in the shade. Thanks. Bye.